This is dnbmuzik.com, and today we're talking to Clayton, formerly of Trouble and Vinyl, Breakin Science, and now running Renegade Hardware. Clayton, welcome to dnbmuzik.com.
Safe, man, thanks for having me.
What's your introduction to the scene? How did you get into it?
I actually got involved in this scene because I used to go out like Summer of Love, you know, the 89 parties in the field, and I got the taste, I got the bug then. But then I used to obviously listen to a lot of hip hop and a lot of reggae and a lot of soul, and I felt at the time then the UK didn't have a scene, didn't have something that we could call our own. If you played reggae, you were wannabe Jamaican. If you done hip hop, you were wannabe American. So when hardcore started, I gravitated to it because I thought finally we got something which we can say we found and it's our thing. So I went out to a lot of early hardcore raves, and then I took a music business course. So after the course, I said to myself, you know what, I looked at reinforcers, my kind of, not heroes, but I looked at them as, if 4 black guys from West London can do it,
inspiration.
Yeah, why can't 2 black guys from South London? Yeah. So my partner at the time, who's Mark, we put our money together, bought a little studio, and we done a tune. But we had no one to put the tune out. Back then it was Suburban Bass, Production House, Moving Shadow, them kind of labels. So we thought, you know what, rather than give it to someone else, we'd do it ourselves. So in 1993, we started Trouble and Vinyl.
Okay.
And then obviously that was my intro into the scene.
What was the first track on Trouble and Vinyl?
We had an EP called Here Comes Trouble Volume 1. And we had an artist called Coda 71, which is 2 guys from North London, who previously had a track on Reinforced. And then DJ Kane had a track on there, and me and Mark had a track. We went under the name Bader's Crew. I can laugh at it now, but that's what we called ourselves. You know what I mean? But one thing about our early releases, even back then I was looking at the way to promote the release. So even if you didn't hear it, you'd see it because it was very loud colours.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's how it started, basically, and then I've been involved in the scene ever since.
Okay. Trouble and Vinyl actually big on the come up of the scene. And
yeah, I was lucky. I've been lucky enough and blessed to actually say I've been part of the scene from the get-go. Yeah. Literally from early Ibiza Records days to what Potential Bad Boy was doing, to I go back to Production House, Moving Shadow, Reinforced, Suburban Bass. Those were the labels that paved the way for what we are up to now.
What DJs and promoters stood out back in the day, them times?
DJs and promoters that stood out for me back in the early inceptions was obviously Fabio and Groove Rider, Jumpin' Jack Frost, Brian G, you know, because they were playing hardcore before Jungle got formed. Yeah. So they, like I said, them men are pioneers of the scene, and we owe them a lot. Like Fabio and Groove Rider just had their 25th a couple of days ago, and it was good to go down there and pay homage, because even for someone like me who's been in the scene for long, I still look at them as inspiration. They open the doors for everyone else, and I don't think enough homage is paid to the old school cats who have paved the way.
From Trouble and Vinyl, you moved on to, was it Breakin Science or Renegade Hardware first?
Renegade Hardware.
Renegade Hardware. So how did that come about? And that's like, it's not really the
it's 20,
drum and bass. It's 20 years yet.
20 years this year. That's why we're having such a big parties.
Okay,
But
so how did that come about?
I started Trouble and Vinyl in '93, and at the time it was more hip hop influence, jungle, and I knew that I wanted another outlet for another strand of drum and bass, which was the dark stuff, which Nico was doing at the time. So we thought we'd come up with Renegade Hardware as another outlet to make another.
People can hear that side of the music.
Yes, basically. Yeah. So instead of having one label to put out everything, we kind of knew the scene was going to split. So we thought, let's have a label called Trouble and Vinyl, which represents the more hip hop influence side of stuff. Then we had Renegade Recordings, which was repped the more liquid drum and bass. Back then they used the word intelligent, which I hate using that because I don't know what's intelligent and what's not intelligent. To me that don't make no sense. So 1995 we started Renegade Hardware as to put out the more futuristic, darker style of drum and bass.
Okay, and what producers was on the label?
The first was D-Bridge and Maldini. They recorded under the name Future Forces. But Hardware over the years, we've had everyone from Chasing Status to Pendulum to Dillinger.
Okay, so there wasn't really signed to the label, but they would make tunes and
you would license them. Our first album came out in '97, and then we had a split. We were trying to sign a lot of artists. They didn't want to sign, so they left. So then we got some new artists in like Usual Suspects and Loxy and Ink and Conflict and etc. etc.
So from there you moved on to like Breakin Science, a big promotion for Dnb and Jungle. What made you go into the promotion side of things and putting on the dances?
Me getting into the promotion side of things was actually almost not a mistake, but back then we had a lot of artists. No one wanted to book our artists, and I'm a very independent person. Like if I want something done and I do it myself. I don't want to wait. I've never waited on anyone, but that's just me as a person. So I used to call up promoters back in the day, like Jim from Pure Science and from Kent, from Hastings, and said to them, look, I've got a label called Trouble and Vinyl. If I get a coach load of people together, can I come down and So literally, I was the first person to actually get coaches to go to London down to Kent and whatnot. So it was, that was my way of getting my artists known. So that started, and then I went to the N Club in '97. I approached him about doing a night under the name Renegade Hardware, and we done that, and we were the longest night at the end. We were there for 11 years, regardless of genre of music. We started it July '97 and finished it January 2008. Obviously because the club closed down, but and then with regards to Breakin, I bought Breakin, I can't remember now, but I think I bought Breakin about 2005.
Okay, yeah.
I bought it off Yankee. And I bought it because obviously I saw a gap in the market. At the time I loved putting events on, and that's when Bagley's were just closing down. The scene was much healthier back then because there was more clubs. Now you can count the good clubs in London. Yes, you could smoke in a club and whatnot. But I sold Breakin a couple of years ago because I just wasn't. I fell out of love with drum and bass, and but it's still going. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad I sold it to Bridge, who's doing well with it. It's probably the biggest thing in London. Yeah, so.
What differences are there in the two scenes, like your Renegade Hardware scene with the jungle scene? Do you see any much difference?
I get asked that question quite a lot. What are the two? Being one of the few people I know that actually promotes two different sides of the scene. It's like a coin. You've got Breakin on one side, which is obviously MC led. And then you've got the harder side of things, which is not MC led, which is more about the tunes. But I like it. You know what? I think there's room for everything. I hate those people that are elitist. I only listen to such and such. It's like it's there. If you don't like it, it doesn't mean it's rubbish. Yeah, and I hate to sound like an old man, but back in the day you'd go out and you'd hear everything under one roof. People now have got blinkers on. They're very like, I listen to this and that's it. You can't. I appreciate all types of music, and for someone who doesn't like jump up, you're gonna find that person who likes the harder side. It's all there, and that's why
to get it all in one night would be perfect though. To get it back
I think
to them,
you know what, I actually think it's going back towards that because now you got a lot of multi-genre nights, which are trying to fuse the whole grime and drum and bass and reggae / dub into it. So I actually do think in the next 2 or 3 years, when you go to a night in London, you'll hear everything. And I think as a scene, it's healthy when it's like that.
gets artists from people from other genres
Yeah.
to artists that they don't hear, and you know.
I think the kids now, I call them the iPod shuffle generation, because they want to hear a bit of everything. Whereas back, you know, say like 5-6 years ago, everyone put their flag in the ground of what they liked. I'm a grime man, or I'm a dubstep man, or I'm a drum and bass man. Where now, these kids coming out, they want to hear everything.
So, what are you doing now at the moment? Any new projects?
This year is our obviously a 20th year anniversary of Renegade Hardware. So we've been doing a lot of labour nights up and down the country, and then obviously we've got the festivals coming up, Outlook and Boomtown and stuff like that really. Just trying to, I think the fact that Renegade Hardware is still going and still relevant after 20 years, I think it's a big deal.
That's massive.
Yeah,
That's
so
massive. That's massive.
I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but on this occasion I will.
So you've been known in the past to put on events at Carnival, so Carnival's coming up soon. You got any plans for that?
Yeah, we used to have a stock place for many years. It was a Trouble and Vinyl stage, and then we stopped, I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm getting back on the Carnival parties, because everyone knows us for Carnival weekend. So August, Carnival Friday in August, we've got like our hardware 20 years at Pasha, which is the formerly, you know, SW1, which was Pasha but is now Connect. So we're going to be doing like our Carnival weekend party there, which is one room's going to be up front drum and bass, and another one's going to be old school to celebrate the Carnival basically. And I've also started a brand called Dub for Life, which is more on the dub reggae. I had you down there, obviously. We can just go on. So
I've been the two of them.
yeah.
I've done the first one.
So I'm just trying to branch out into different things. I don't want to be known as a one-trick pony. I like promoting, and I've always had a love for reggae and dub. And I think with the whole so-called dubstep dying, I think the kids now are gravitating towards the dub as the original. The reason why I called the night Dub for Life, because I wanted to showcase everything that dub music has influenced, which is everything that's got going out there in the electronic world anyway. So that's my little baby at the moment. I've had 2 or 3 parties and they're going good. This is Clayton from Renegade Hardware, Dub for Life, and you're watching dnbmuzik.com.